All aboard! It's episode 15 in the Simutrans Pak64 Germany play sessions here. Gameplay sessions on How Not to Game with Callie Jack. I'm your host, Callie Jack, the guy who shares the face, body, soul, according to some not, with Typhid Rex. And we are kind of looking over what we can do to take and straighten up our lines and make things run a little bit smoother. In this session. And I am trying something new here. And that something new is what we're doing right here. I'm adding in another section of double line track to try and speed up flow in a jam up area. So now we're double lined all the way down to the splits. And then it's just for one passenger train and the alternate train there, the grape delivery train, wine and beer trains delivering. I did lay in some road work. I thought I'd hit click and started talking away, and then all of a sudden I realized, hey, it didn't start recording. Sometimes that happens. I'm not always all here. All right, so we're going to take and set it up and go ahead and go. All right, closing out these two windows. Close out that guy. Open up the halts. We're going to put in a passenger halt out here. But first, we're going to take and do an extra section of rail halt. The reason we're doing this is we're doing one rail halt, and then we'll do a double passenger to let people come through. Down the road, we'll add a train on this, I'm thinking. But initially, until I see some flow and some desire to work out here, I really don't want to spend that much money. So we're going to come up here and close out of the halts. Whoops. Open the halts. Close the two halts. Now close. There we go. Get us a coach. And we're going to schedule this guy to go like this. And back, and we're going to call this line R. Hoppenhoff. Hoppenhoff Hustle. Coach. And as we slowly but surely rebuild our lines up and get things going at a much better rate, we've got both a wine and a beer train out on the rails right now. That's good news. And we'll go ahead and speed up to that 2.5 that we found was about right. 2.0 actually for our flow. There goes our grape trains going back down to taking the load back up. we'll see who's got which going. Oh, now that's cheating. But the grain train got precedence over both of the others that were there before it because it had the head of steam up. That's interesting. I didn't think that I'd put a priority on that. Now I am thinking about doing something weird here for an outline to these guys here and make this so that it becomes a smoother flow. But I don't think it's going to fit. It might, though. No, it won't fit. It won't fit. Darn it. I would have to do some serious groundwork, and I don't feel like kicking out a bridge and doing that groundwork. I had an idea that I was going to build a tunnel out and then have it connect back in, but it won't connect back in till here, and you can't do the connection on the footings of the bridge that I know of. So I'm not going to push my luck. Turn the trees back on for a little bit. We've checked all of our signals. Let's go ahead and check our service levels. Again, we know we had some issues, and I did have to do a restart because everything was running slow. And Cardiff Woot Hill Station is causing us some problems. And it's the amount of... Yeah, we need to take and put a couple more ox carts of... barrel transporters out on the line. Let's see what we got. The barrel runner. Cardiff barrel runner. Let's put 6 more back out into the line real fast. That's a lot of booze backed up needing to get over to there. We also got people needing to get into town, so we do need to take and build a couple of stages. And let's see what we can do here. Connections, truck, the silver coach. So the silver coach is what we need to take and do it on. Can't find a route. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, I wonder, because I did have a crash, did it never finish that? Still can't find a route. Kick the trees. We know we can get over here. Oh, that's why there's 2 different sterling silver coaches. That's why we needed these on the Cardiff. Okay. Duh, dummy. Yeah, how not to game. I'm peak at that. Remember that. Okay, getting those guys out now, and that should start knocking down some of that. We need to increase our flow of furniture, it would appear, at the factory yard. Now he's green, which tells me that it's just not producing at the levels we need it at. Let's go up here to the factory and see what our issue is. We're only producing 1267. From the sawmill via the Lincoln sawmill yard, or to the sawmill. Ooh. So it's got, the wood was being delivered up here. Why are we delivering the wood up here? Was I doing a two-way transfer? Oh, that would have been terrifying. You know what? I think we should be checking this guy. Yeah, he's going back full. Let's put a second train onto that. Okay, so at the furniture yard up there, that is the planks train. Well, let's get a good train going. And for the bang for the buck, pretty much this guy here. Five cars. Put him on the planks. Copy him. And launch them both back to back to start running that. And let's go ahead and put a couple of passing sidings on this line. All right, that should, in theory, get us some flow going to start moving more and more wood back and forth. Checking here, we've only got 40, so we will, on two of these guys, need to do something special. You, on your schedule, perfect. No weight pickups, perfect. So he's going to run and lose us money on one leg or the other. And I think we're just going to tell him to go ahead and schedule to that one. There you go. Same with him. Let his schedule start up there at the furniture yard to get that wood down to the sawmill and then back and forth. So I have a logger who's going to the wrong spot. Darn, what was I thinking? Let's go ahead and speed it up to 2.5. Yeah, he's coming back fully loaded too. That's nice. Sorry about that. Now we can start thinking about what can we do to increase our production. Passengers, we can get a 2% boost for just getting passengers over, but we can also get a 2% boost from getting electricity. We don't have power plants yet, so that's not an option. So we'll have to see what we can do. And we really need to see why nobody wants to go. Well, it's starting to show that there's people who want to get over there. Is it that I'm not serving them? Interesting. How about from Sheffield? Sheffield's definitely starting to build a desire to get there. All right, Sheffield could use a couple more stops in town. Don't need road, needs stops. Make one there. And one down here. And let's begin a new special service line to move people to those points. There we go. Call it the Pi root coach because it's an upside down U or close enough to pi. And it'll take him a little bit to take it in and work into the system. What else can we do to try to generate some money? We could start building our connections down here. Now down here we do have a fairly good setup. Now one thing I want to avoid is taking out that flock of sheep. So we're going to need to redesign our mindset on the route. Do a pioneering line. Something like this. Brewery's over this way, so we'd want to do an angle portion here and then up this way. Come down to Salford, and we would do a spur line to serve our hops place there, and then we do a little spur line on each side here. Take out that little mountain. on that one. There we go. Connect up all these pieces. We will put a fairly centralized depot right there, and then take out that little section right there. There we go. I found out what was bugging the eye. I pulled down the eyelid. There's a piece of grass right inside the eye, tearing up my eye. So I managed to wash that out. Feel it slowly, you know, losing the itchiness now. Puffiness has definitely gone down, which is good. All right, let's see here. And then something like this. There we go. Do him there. Do a blast on that section and that section. There we go. And time for some cargo stoppage. Whoops. And unfortunately, because it touched in the wrong spot, do our cargo line first. We'll just do the one initially. And then our market's in town too. So we will need a secondary line. Kind of extend them down to here. I think that's the market, right? Yes, good. So we've got the market, and then we're going to also do passenger station on that. And then we need a section right there. There we go. And we will need a bypass about, call it here. Take this up to here now. Fix this little spot. Go to this and turn on that really cool interruption line to make certain we ain't got any interruptions on the line other than at the ends. Good. I'm not seeing any. Perfect. Can turn that off and park away those tools. That is such a handy little feature. I wonder if that's in 128 German. We're going to find out. Down the road, we will play 128 German. Okay, and then I probably should do another passing stretch right here. And I think that's a pretty good setup. We'll start dispatching trains onto this line momentarily after we get the one last thing in that we need, which is the cargo to town. That and for me to get past this sneezing fit that I'm suffering. Hey guys, have a better day than I'm having.